Good morning, everyone. Hope you had a great weekend. I am back with another mini training, and this is actually something which is on my to-do list this week, to have a little look at your Instagram highlights, because this is something which tends to get set up and then you don't look at it again. So it's something that we need to keep an eye on every 6 months to a year. So now is a really good time to have a look at them. And if you've done one of my Instagram challenges, you'll know that I really think these are important. So this is where your highlights will show. It is a story which you can save. So stories normally last for 24 hours unless you add them to your highlights. And it's a really high traffic area when new guests discover your Instagram profile from all the amazing social media posts that you're going to be doing. And they land on your profile, they have a little look at your bio, and then the next place they look is your highlights. And I think that's because the content which you do on your stories is probably a bit more real and raw, and it's not so perfect like the rest of your grid. So it's a really great opportunity to show off your property. Another great reason highlights are so important is because you can include a link to your website from a story in Instagram. You can't include a link to your website on just a normal post in the caption on Instagram. It doesn't work, it doesn't click through. So all of those things together make it a really great area to generate some more bookings and more traffic to your website and more interest, and is a really good way to show off your property and your area and all of your amazing reviews as well. So I'd love for you to go and have a little review and refresh. If you haven't got these set up yet, then I'll talk you through some ideas of the categories. Essentially, you want no more than 5. So if you have more than 5 at the moment, I would have a little cull and see if you can condense them a little bit. Just because when you have more than 5, when you're viewing it on mobile, you have to scroll along, so it makes it really messy, and just dilutes your messaging. So I'd love for you to have a little look. Remove any old offers or outdated information about events and things. Sometimes I see highlights which are years old, so they're really out of date information, and there's so much more that you can do with Instagram now. So I'd have a little look and remove any of those posts first of all. Then have a little look at your highlights, and the different categories. And if you have more than 10 stories per highlight, I would think about condensing them. You don't really want any more than 10, otherwise people are going to get bored. They're not going to flick through all the hundreds that you might have there. So no more than 10 per highlight to make that messaging as impactful as possible. For your property highlight, so depending on whether you have one set up already or if you're going to set one up, you're just setting up your highlights for the first time, make sure that in your property highlight you have no more than 10 stories about your property. You can use all of your lovely professional photos in these stories, and make sure for every single story about your property, you are adding your website link, which you can do on Instagram stories. So that means that people can then click through to your website once they're interested. I would then think about your area as another highlight. So thinking about your target guests and what they typically get up to, and making sure that you're explaining that in no more than 10 stories per highlight. So I've talked a lot about my target guests when I had my walking the Southwest Coast Path a lot, and also going to Salcombe Gin School. So I'd make sure that my highlights definitely showed those 2 points, because I know that the people that stay with me are interested in those things. I'd then have a think about doing a behind the scenes highlight. So if you're doing any changeovers or maintenance, record yourself doing it or do a little photo and upload that. That's good to see. It builds the trust that you are a real accommodation. There's lots of scams and things online now, and it really just helps to build that trust. So behind the scenes is a good one as well. Then I would definitely have a reviews highlight, where you are sharing all of your fantastic reviews. Again, no more than 10 per highlight. So if it means that you have to screenshot some reviews and add them all in one story, that's fine. And that just makes the messaging super clear and how amazing everyone thinks your property is. And then finally, I would maybe think about having an events / special offers highlight. So you can either put the events which are going on in your area in 2026, or you can have, if you're doing special offers, last minute discounts, that kind of thing. Or even if you want to keep it a bit more generic, so you don't have to keep updating this, create like sometimes we have some last minute cancellations and it's such a shame for the property to be empty. Make sure to subscribe to our mailing list so that if we've got any special offers on, or perhaps we're doing competitions and what's going on in our area. So that can be a great way to do that, so adding your mailing list link to that special offers category as well. Now, if you want to take it one step further, again, not a must, but if you want to really refresh your highlights, you can create on-brand highlight cover photos in Canva and update these as well. So for example, I have mine here right at the start. I've used my brand colors and I literally just picked these elements within Canva and drop them in, just so it ties everything in, makes it look a bit more professional, and you can do this super easy on Canva as well. So that's taking things to the next level. But yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing this week as well. So if you've got any questions about reviewing your highlights, what kind of things you should be including in there, or how to do it, please let me know. Have a great week, and I will see you on Wednesday for the first Q&A.